All right, the New York Rangers, they opened up free agency on Saturday, making some moves. The Blue Shirts signed 9 players on the first day of free agency, but what are we to make of these moves? So let's break it all down with New York Post Rangers beat reporter. That is Molly Walker, who joins me now. Molly, long time no talk. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I know this offseason's been busy for you with the Rangers searching for a head coach. Now we are into free agency. So let's talk about it. We're heading into this NHL free agency period. We knew that the Rangers didn't have much funds to spend on players, knowing that the team's cap limitations are what they are. Were you surprised how busy that they were on the first day of free agency? And do you think that the Rangers found good value with these signings that they made on day one?
I definitely was a little surprised at how active they were, considering the cap constraints, just like you just mentioned. But with that came a lot of one-year deals, a lot of two-year deals, and Drury didn't sign anybody for more than $1 million. In fact, he didn't sign anybody for more than $825,000. So in terms of what they did and what part of their cap that they used, you know, Drury did just about as well as he possibly could have to round out the lineup and add some depth to the organization, which really needed to happen. But I think that it was what he needed to do in terms of filling roles. A lot of aging guys, but I think this is just what the Rangers were relegated to. They were able to pick up some bigger names, Blake Wheeler and Jonathan Quick. So I think that those should be the headlining signings that people should be focusing on.
All right, so let's talk about the headline signings, because you just mentioned Jonathan Quick. They notably signed a goaltender. Backup goalie was clearly a need that they had this offseason. Quick, he's coming off a pretty not good year in LA. Do you think he can bounce back and be trusted to make 25 to 30 starts behind Igor Shesterkin?
Look, Jonathan Quick is a 3-time Stanley Cup champion and a future Hall of Famer. Nothing is going to change that. I think that what happened in LA and Vegas, there were a couple of injuries that he had to deal with along the way, and in Vegas, he kind of got stuck in a third-string role behind 2 up-and-coming goalies. So I think that you take that with a grain of salt, the numbers that he put up last season. I think that playing under Benoit Allaire, who is the notorious goalie guru of the NHL, should be exciting for him. And he's a Connecticut guy who grew up a Ranger fan, so I think he wants to be in New York. So I think that's something to focus on, too.
All right, so we'll see how he fits backing up Shesterkin. Also headlining the Blue Shirts' day one signings was right winger Blake Wheeler. How do you see him helping this Rangers team next season?
More than anything, he's a right winger, and the Rangers need a few more of those, especially in the top 6. Whether or not he'll be in the top 6 is yet to be seen. He'll definitely be in the top 9, I would imagine. And he's definitely going to be on special teams, and he's a bigger guy, 6'5", 220 pounds. And he's also Truma's former teammate in Winnipeg. I actually interviewed Wheeler for my feature on Trouba when he became captain. So now it's going to be kind of a nice little reverse there. Trouba is going to be his captain this time around in New York. I think that he'll fit in pretty well, and he could be a much bigger signing than a lot of people think. And I think that getting him for $800,000 a year with max $300,000 performance bonuses was a steal.
Okay, so there could be some good value with Wheeler there. Now, Molly, after all these signings, the Rangers, they still need to sign their restricted free agents, right? Alexis Lafreniere, Keandre Miller. Is that the next order of business here for Chris Drury? And do you see both players getting signed to long-term deals?
No, definitely not long-term deals. The Rangers simply can't afford that at this moment in time. Probably both players will receive bridge deals. It's definitely the top order of business now that their cap space has shaped out with all the other necessary needs that they need going into next season. But both players are definitely a priority. The Rangers aren't really in a position to be subtracting from their lineup. So it's definitely a priority to bring those two back because they are obviously key players in the lineup.
All right, we'll see if they can bring those 2 players back in the fold. As Molly said, they're not in a position with their cap situation to be subtracting from their lineup. We'll see what other moves the Rangers can make this offseason. You know who's going to be on top of it. That would be Molly Walker, beat reporter for the New York Post, covering the Rangers. Molly, always good to talk some Rangers hockey with you. We will talk soon.
Thanks, Dexter.